You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff here on TequilaAficionado.com, part of Tequila Aficionado Media. I am Mike Morales here in San Antonio, Tejas, and that gentleman there with his little hat.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
Dude, it's okay. You can wear the yarmulke on camera. It's fine. It's the Mexican yarmulke. Show the hat again. Yeah, it's a monocle. Show that hat again. We're gonna tonight. This is very special for us because we have been waiting like 20 years to get these guys with us here on Sipping Off the Cuff. It's Scorpion Mezcal. This is the 5-year. Oh, you got a scorpion in your. Oh, so do I. Look at that. There's a real scorpion in every bottle because, as we know, worms are for wimps.
That's right. That's what they say. Worms are for wimps.
This is the 5-year Anejo. My understanding is that these are aged in French oak. The website. The website says French oak. I don't know if it's Espadin.
Because they do some aged Tobola.
Right. Our latest offerings: estate-grown Tobola Silver and estate-grown Tobola Anejo. We have those. I have them. I don't think that you got your samples. I think the ones that I have in the rounded bottles are Tobola. But
Yeah,
this,
the ones I think are Espadin.
could be. I'll have to pull them out again. But this one, I believe, is Espadin. I'm going to go there and say it's Espadin. The website, part of the website's down, so I can't get the exact notes on the 5-year Reserva. I don't know why they're calling it 5-year Reserva, but anyway, it is aged in French oak, 5 years.
That should be interesting.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say that this is an Espadin. I could be wrong, but the bottle doesn't say.
If our viewers recall, we
Yes.
did a little Four-Hoven party pack with the different species. And for my taste, I think I probably gravitated toward the Espadin. So I'm hoping this is Espadin.
Could be. Contains one whole scorpion, exoshell, no nutritional value. Scorpion Anejo 5 years. It's a lot number. My lot number is 55, and my bottle is 2298. It is a product of Oaxaca. So
I'm in the same lot.
yeah, well, I would imagine that ours would be the same lot. Beautiful bottle. You can see it's faceted. It's a faceted bottle, kind of like
Has a nice classic look.
yeah. It's kind of like I don't know, what would you call it? Like an emerald cut.
Yeah.
Kinda-
Kind of like a jewel cut.
Yeah, it's got a nice hand feel to it. Like it's an oversized flask, and it does have the scorpion inside. So
It's like something you would expect to see sitting next to like fancy cut crystal, and then you realize it's mezcal.
yeah, and then you realize there's a bug in it. What's that bug doing in my mezcal? Gotta work that cap off, man.
Yeah, it's
So
a little tight the
Is
first
it? Oh, it's a plastic cap, so it's not.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah, okay.
fitted plastic cap. I think it's got like some. It's ribbed, so it puts up.
Hey,
first
that's
up.
great. What are they trying to tell us?
It's ribbed for your enjoyment.
Yeah. God. Does it glow in the dark too?
Wear protection.
Okay, come on out. I'm just wrestling with my cork here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. It's that scorpion. They put that scorpion in there, and it won't let the cap out. Now, does the cap feel like glass to you, or is it plastic? It's glass, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's weird. It's kind of like a weird I mean, yeah,
It has some heft to it. The stopper's definitely plastic.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, the top's glass, I think.
Okay, well, it's kind of weird. Doesn't it looks like glass, tastes like glass, doesn't feels like glass. Tonight I'm going to use my Glencairn Canadian whiskey blend glass.
I'm going to use my blown glass from Guadalajara.
Because as you know, there's no real glassware for mezcal. At least not officially, anyway, unless you're using a gourd.
It's a pretty deep color.
Yeah, it is.
Amber.
It's now this is no slouch, okay? Scorpion Mezcal has been around for 20 years. This is their 20th anniversary this year. I understood that they've got some special items that they're going to release here in October or this month in September coming up that will be in keeping with their portfolio, but completely not what you expect. So we're kind of looking forward to hopefully getting some samples of those where we'd be using our Glencairns for. They're also award winners. They've been around for as long as Del Maguey. In fact,
and what? This is an 80 proof.
That's what I was going to say. It's an 80 proof
here in the U.S.
Yes. All their tequilas seem to be 80 proof. They're all 40 ABV. I would say that they were really the first ones to be gateway mezcals, and yet they're very authentic. From the first 4 that you and I had, that party pack was really something, man. That I still can't say enough of that. I have to hide it from me and from Lisa because Lisa loves the mezcals. Oh yeah. Now the Canadian blended whiskey glass I like it very much for mezcals because it just, oh God, what a nose.
But it has that wide, flat shape, like like if you were drinking from a gourd or a clay bowl or something.
Yeah, it is fluted just slightly, ever so slightly at the very top. Not a lot, but just enough to.
The bottom's very flat, gives you a lot of surface area.
Yeah, I just really enjoy the mezcals when I originally taste them for the first time. I really like this glass a lot. I mean, pretty much. If it's a great mezcal, it doesn't matter what you put it in. It's gonna come up and talk to you, But for the sake of science,
science. That's right.
Science. You blinded me with science. Wow, what a nose on this.
Yeah. So, what were our notes when we did the Espadin Hoven? That was the more sort of vegetal.
Yeah,
maybe citrus.
This is going to be really different because, first of all, let me say it's an award winner. All right, these, as I was getting at, they've been around for as long as Del Maguey, and they have racked up a lot of hardware, to their credit. This particular 5-year-old was given 96 points by the Beverage Tasting Institute. You can't go any higher than that especially if you're a mezcal.
Yeah.
It says intense aromas of roasted pineapple, raw honey, vanilla, caramel, fresh herbs, and smoldering embers. Now they write. This is what BTI writes. These guys, the Beverage Tasting Institute, to me, is probably one of the most respected institutes for grading and tasting. In fact, I know tequilas that only submit to these guys and win year after year after year with different judging, but the same criteria. So this is just right in the center. I get this hearty sweetness. Wow.
I'm picking out those herbal notes. I'm getting a lot of, kind of vegetal kind of stuff going on.
Well, it says also there's a rich, lush entry that leads to roasted agave and grilled pineapple. I can see where it would be grilled pineapple. I can smell that. because I don't want to say it's dried fruit because it doesn't really, it's not like some of the extra añejos that you and I have had where you get that dried cherries, a dried,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's not that kind of dried fruit that I'm getting. So
Yeah, and it's French oak, so it's not like whiskey sweetness you would be.
No. It's, if you've had tequilas that have been aged in French oak, cognac barrels, you know that they have a very distinctive imprint, a thumbprint that adds to the complexity of the juice that's in it. I mean, Casa Noble comes to mind right away because of the French oak that they use, and they use virgin barrels from a particular maker. So this is probably not that as advanced.
I'm detecting some citrus, so I can see where they're saying the pineapple.
Yep.
And, the smoldering embers, you expect to smell some smoke on the mezcal. It's not overpowering. It's just an accent.
No, not at all. Even the alcohol that's in it, there's a certain level of alcohol, but it's not offensive. It's not like it's rushing up in your nose or anything. It's just a lovely nose. It really, really and it just sings. You don't have to wait for it to open up or anything. It's talking to you as soon as you pour it out of the glass.
Definitely.
Wow. Holy cow. Wow, that's big.
It's surprising that that's 5 years in oak because it's still very agave forward.
Yeah, it's mezcal. You can't, whenever you leave a tequila longer than 5, some people say longer than 7 years, it tastes like anything but tequila. Mezcal, for a 5-year in a French oak barrel, this is freaking divine. Holy cow, man. Wow. There's smoke. I know it's a mezcal. I can't confuse it with anything else but.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's spicy, it's smoky.
I'm transported to like campfires and s'mores.
Where did you go camping? Camp Run Amok. There actually is a Camp Run Amok, but that's another whole story. It says that it finishes with a sweet fade of toffee, peppery spice, and smoky oak.
Yeah.
I don't know about the toffee. I'm not sure about toffee, but
yeah, I'm not picking up toffee really.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe coffee or leather. I could go there, for instance, or maybe not even so much leather as much as
like
tobacco.
Like they're saying with the roasted pineapple. Maybe like a muted roasted fruit.
Well, roasted or grilled.
Or smoked.
A grilled pineapple like it. See, grilled is different than roasted. Roasted means it's been singed.
No,
grilled means it's been near the heat, but not seared or singed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. There's all kinds of stuff going on in this. Wow. I recall. I think when you and I did the reviews of the party pack, I told the story of how I met Barbara Sweetman, the partner to Doug French, who is the owner and master distiller, and she let me taste this in a portion cup, and I was blown away at how complex it was, and that was really the only time I'd ever had it. So we've never really had them on Sipping Off the Cuff until now. I mean, it's literally been 20 years that we've been trying to get them, and they're finally here, and wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow. You hadn't had it before, have you? Did you open it up and try it before we went on camera?
These came in a few months ago, so I think I think I might have taken a sipper back then. I hadn't spent a lot of time with it, you can tell.
Well, you didn't even have the Glencairns either. at that point.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It says wildflower, honey, spices. It's just every time you inhale, there's something else new that's coming up. I mean, look at my sample. I don't need a whole lot. This thing, look at, that's all I've got.
Yeah.
And yeah, the glassware makes a big difference, but you don't you don't even have a whole lot of it in your snifter. That's minimal. And it's just wow. It's just singing to you. I'm surprised they stopped at 96 when they graded it. I don't think anybody had a bar for what to expect.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I think that when they won these awards, nobody had done what Doug French had been doing up until that point. So there was no point of reference. There was no standard bar.
You think there would have been many mezcals submitted to the Beverage Tasting Institute then?
Yeah, but not at 40 ABV.
Mm.
I mean, I'm amazed how much smoke and how much espadín, how much agave we're getting after 5 years in a French oak barrel.
Yeah.
Because you leave a tequila in there for a year and you draw out, like we talked about, cocoa and chocolate and, leave it in there for 3 years and it's really sweet.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's on the sweet side.
At that point.
Yeah. Wow. This is divine stuff, man. This is the kind of you stash for yourself.
Now I'm getting the vanilla. Well, that's really nice with the smoke. It's just all these different combinations coming up.
The smoke actually doesn't get in the way. I know that you said that in the past when you first were exposed to mezcal, the smoke threw you off completely.
Yeah.
What do you think with the smoke now?
No, I think it's great. It adds a nice, nice character, different aspect.
Wow.
I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Good. Yeah, this is be aware this is still a 5-year in French oak, so it's going to coat your palate. You're going to taste and retaste the smoke on your palate also. It's not like the smoke dissipates and goes away because this is an añejo. It's designed, añejos are designed to coat your palate. So whatever is in there it's going to keep coming up and unless you flush your palate or cleanse it in one way or another, you're going to have it there a lot.
Yeah.
Which is
but
weird.
It's not overpowering. It doesn't take over.
No.
It's just an aspect of it.
Well, if you're familiar with smoke and you've had it in an espadín or a joven of any type, you know that the smoke eventually dissipates. It doesn't stay on your palate. It's just something that accompanies the juice. But this isn't aged, so it's really interesting to continue to sense the smoke even after the juice is gone, because that's new for me. I don't get very many ultra aged añejos. I mean mezcals. If I get any, they're 2 months, 3 months reposados max, and at a much higher ABV. So this is a whole new experience for me to keep retasting the smoke on my palate. And like you said, it's not offensive. It's not, it's not ew. It's not ew. This is really interesting. This is it's a new, I've just experienced something new, folks. This is new for me. To have that much smoke, 5 years, French oak, 40 ABV. That's crazy. This guy Doug French is nuts. He's nuts.
Yeah. He's the mad scientist of Oaxaca, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, I wanna go fire up my chimenea on the patio and go hang out with this out there.
Okay, what would you do with this? cold winter night.
Yeah.
You live near the well, you live in San Diego, so that marine layer comes in just about every night anyway.
You know what I'm thinking of? You and Lisa were out here for Christmas one year,
Yeah.
and every night after dinner, we'd go out and fire up the chiminea,
Yep.
pour some sippers, sit around, shoot the bull.
Well,
That's,
you know,
that's what I would want to do with this.
we'd watch the sunset, and you know, I used to live in San Diego. I did for 3 years. I lived more inland. No, actually, the first year I lived in PB. I lived in Pacific Beach, and then I moved inland to Rancho Penasquitos. So, which is, you know, if you're up high enough, you get to see the ocean anyway. But I remember the marine layer. It didn't matter whether it was summer or winter. You know, sometimes in winters, I remember working a winter I spent working in Shelter Island, and those nights, you know, not only do you get cold, but you get that humidity on top of that, and it's merciless. You know, it's really hurt. It hurts. All your injuries, all your football injuries and stuff, they start to wake up. But you know, it's nicer further inland and not when you're so far into the ocean.
Yeah, we get more of the drier air here in the hills.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're up on a hill. Rick has a beautiful view on his backyard. So, if you've seen any of his pictures of in his pool, that's kind of, you know, flip that around and it overlooks the
I'll
valley.
start some pictures with the skyline in the background.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But I'm really enjoying this, man. This is. I know we've spent like 20 minutes talking about the ins and outs, but you really can't say enough about Scorpion Mezcal. The Scorpion, it's a gimmick. All right, I'll give you that. But I got to tell you, the 96 points from the BTI, from Beverage Tasting Institute, there's a reason for that, folks. I say brand of promise in the legacy category.
Absolutely.
Hands down. This is available nationwide. So if you can't find it, you can find it online. Chances are Z carries it. I don't know what the price points are for something like this. I'd imagine you're going to spend, you know, a pretty penny. But this is one of those where this is one that you stash for yourself. Okay, you don't share this if you can avoid it, unless you're blood relatives. You don't want to share this with anyone.
You don't pull it out at a party.
Yeah, no, don't bring it. Don't take it as a housewarming gift unless that person is really, really special. It's beautiful. It's so well done, so well balanced. I learned a lot tonight by tasting it. I'm so glad to Barbara and Doug, you know, Caballeros Incorporated, because that's the name of the company, for finally, you know, caving in and sending us some samples at Sipping Off the Cuff. This was delightful. It really, really was. And I'm glad, Rick, that for your first foray into mezcal, that you know, you were able to go with a really nice a company that knew what they were doing. You know, yeah. And it gave you a really good bar, I think, as somebody who's just getting into mezcals. I think it really helped. You got to see the differences in the plant without the intensity of the alcohol and the super smokiness that sometimes throws people off. So I can't wait to see what unfolds when we start getting the higher ABVs, because it'll be interesting to see how you react, how your palate reacts to stuff like this. But I'm impressed. I say brand of promise nominee, legacy category, hands Absolutely. Down, man. This is beautiful stuff. Yeah. Before I sign off, anything else you want to add to this?
Like what?
I don't know.
I like hat.
See, he likes the hat. Yeah, they're gimmicky. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. And it's got a scorpion. It really does have an exoskeleton on the bottom.
I'm gonna when I get to the bottom of this bottle, I'm gonna play with that scorpion.
Yeah, well,
I might eat it.
Remember that? Do you remember that? Did you ever see Urban Cowboy?
No.
Where the guy is drinking a bottle of mezcal, and he's sucking it down, and then you can see the worm, and he sucks out the worm from the bottle. I don't know how he did that with almost a half a bottle of mezcal. Yeah, I could just see you trying to suck the scorpion out of the
Yeah, I don't know
bottle.
how it's going to come out. I don't know.
I think we're just going to leave it in there. It's all going to fall apart and come apart at the
I have a
joints.
feeling the bottle's going to last a long time. You know, those special occasions.
I think so too. It really is. Scorpion 5-year in French oak. That's our take on Sipping Off the Cuff. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
You've been watching us on Sipping Off the Cuff with Scorpion Mezcal. Get yourself a 5-year. It's a Brand of Promise nominee in the legacy category. You cannot go wrong. And as we like to say here in Spanish, tomar sabia